Welcome everyone. In this video, we will be taking a quick look at the MPDB Compatibility Assessment tool. It can be found under User, Tools pop-up, and by clicking on MPDB Evaluation. If the user clicks on Manual, they will be able to see a comprehensive documentation. The MPDB Compatibility Assessment tool consists of three tabs: Inputs, Additional Inputs, and Visualization. A link to the example data used in this video will be provided in the video description. And this barrier, which we see here, is developed by GNS and is available for purchase. Normally we would see a car on the left here impacting the barrier. This tool is available for the European NCAP and also the China NCAP. Now first we want to select PIDs for which the intrusions should be calculated. That's here. We would definitely want to choose the cladding, and we would also want to choose some PIDs behind the cladding because the cladding can tear during the simulation. Next we want to choose follower nodes. We want to choose follower nodes on a rigid part of the barrier. We would normally choose the backplate for this. Next we want to choose reference nodes. Reference nodes determine the location and the orientation of the rating grid. The rating grid is at the front here. If we have experimental data, the barrier is already deformed, and therefore we would choose reference nodes at the back of the barrier, and we would provide a barrier depth. If we have simulation data, then we can simply choose reference nodes at the front of the barrier, and we don't need to specify a barrier depth. Next, we want to provide an OLC source. There are many different options for this. There is also the option of defining the unit system for the evaluation. The tool also has a configuration file. This means that all the options in the GUI can be saved to this configuration file, and this configuration file can be loaded into the GUI at a later date to save the user time. Now before we start the evaluation, let's take a quick look at the Additional Inputs tab. Here we have different sections. The first section is backplate information. This is in the case if we have detached elements, so failed elements, floating in space between the deformed barrier and the rating grid. Next we have bottoming out. This is to change the way bottoming out is evaluated. Next we have isolated smoothing. If the intrusion value of one element is above an intrusion limit, the intrusion value can be reduced via a smoothing algorithm of neighboring elements. Cavity smoothing is similar, but when we have more than one element which is above an intrusion limit. Then we have China NCAP. Depending on the vehicle type, one should include this additional modifier. Let's move back to the Inputs tab. Now, let's load in a configuration file to save time. So now the graphical user interface is populated. We can start the evaluation. It will take a moment and therefore I will see you soon. So now we're back. We have a presentation with 3 slides. On the first slide we have summary tables. On the second slide we have a modifier diagram. And on the third slide we have a velocity OLC diagram. Let's take a look at the visualization tab. So at the moment we're looking at intrusions which are capped. There is also the option under this first section, Display Intrusion Function, to show uncapped intrusions. There's also the option to display the deviation from the mean value, or to use the EURO-NCAP colors. Let's try out the deviation from the mean value. So now we see on the right the change which happened. The next section is Project Intrusions on the Barrier. Let's try this out for the rating area. Right, we see on the right here the projection on the barrier. Right, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.